Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Chapter 59. When we last left our heroes, we largely focused on a training mission or not a training mission, a training session, between the new Team 7, as Sarada wanted to kind of ease Kawaki into ninjutsu training with meditation. Kawaki was not really on board with that, which led to a bit of a sparring match between Boruto and Kawaki over what training method they would go for. Boruto won, in part due to Kawaki kind of instinctively trying to use karma, an ability he no longer has. And there's this kind of ominous talk about Kawaki wanting to get stronger to protect Naruto at any cost, but trying to get stronger at any cost is never a good sign in the Naruto verse. Anyway, meanwhile, before all that, Boruto got the hopefully Momoshiki suppressant meds from Amado, and Naruto's all like, you don't have to take them if you don't want to, there are risks, think about it, and Boruto just fucking went for it. So those meds might help, but Kawaki is definitely dealing with some shit, about his desperate desire to protect Naruto. So yeah, all that being said, let's jump right on into Chapter 59, Night. And our picture here is of Kawaki, in this sort of it's his normal outfit, but the color scheme is different. He's got an orange shirt and a sort of beige-ish, desert-looking, vest. It's a good look for him, I will say. Anyway, we open with Code. Why you... who's choking out Kawaki. I guess this is a flashback or a dream sequence or something. There's none of the black border that would sort of indicate a flashback. But Code just continues, why isn't it me? I can't see you fitting the criteria. What makes you so special? So I think this is about Code's hang-ups over not being a fitting vessel for Ishiki. Kawaki just sputters out, the heck are you talking about? And Code just throws him on the ground and looks down at him in contempt. And Kawaki tries to get up. Ugh, he's so strong. Is he a monster? And we see the white karma on Code's hand. I'm jealous of you, Kawaki. And I hate you so much. If you weren't a chosen vessel, I'd kill you right now. And we see his his karma lines have extended over his eye. He's fully in karma mode. And Kawaki wakes up in a jolt. And he's on a hospital bed with Amado and Sumire. Sumire looks at him. Are you okay, Kawaki? You were tossing and turning. And Kawaki looks around. Just a dream. It's nothing. And Amado presses. You're still having nightmares of Jigen disciplining you. Oh, no, that was a question. Never mind. Nightmares of Jigen disciplining you? And Kawaki pauses before responding, sometimes. But this one involved Code. He was whiny and resentful as usual, even though I'm not a vessel anymore. And Amado takes a hit off a drag? I always forget the proper terminology for smoking. Off his cigarette. Your assessment there isn't wrong. Your assessment there is wrong. You misunderstand. And Kawaki and Sumire both look at him confused. You're still Otsutsuki's vessel, Kawaki, and that will never change. That's a bad sign. So I've for years now been I'm not quite sure how the flash forward can work, given the setup, given the development that Kawaki has had over the past 40 some odd chapters. And the initial assumption was that Ishiki would win. And that's what would lead to the flash forward, maybe a bit of a dialogue change. But then that didn't happen because Ishiki died. But now, maybe Code wins. Maybe this is set up for Code taking over Kawaki. But that would require Code to become an Otsutsuki, and I think that requires either Boruto and Kawaki to be dead, because they have to be turned into the fuel for the divine tree. Code would have to eat the fruit, and so Boruto and Kawaki can't both be there if that happens, unless a third vessel pops up. I don't know. Anyway, and that will never change. And Kawaki just looks at him, and mutters out, "Huh? What are you saying?" And Sumire looks concerned at all this. Remember Sumire's sort of suspicions around Amado. Something keep in the back of your mind all through this scene, I bet. Ishiki's soul may have been extinguished, eliminating any chance of him possessing you, but it doesn't change the fact that you are his vessel. And Kawaki lashes out, "You bastard! Shut up right now! I don't want to hear it! Your body remaining Otsutsukified is proof of that. That's your reality. You need to accept it." That reality line is very similar to something Ishiki said in the final battle. Is one of the chapter titles. Let me see if I can do a quick Google search for the exact line. Might have been "This is reality." It's "That's reality" from chapter 53. But the similarity to what Ishiki had said back then might be contributing to what pushes Kawaki over the edge in the next scene, or next panel, as he sort of, with his sort of monster arm, presses up against Amado to the wall. Sumire yells at him, "Kawaki!" But Kawaki just glares at Amado. "Are you deaf, you geezer? I told you to stop it. I'm fed up with you." And Amado looks down at Kawaki. "And the plan to implant Boruto's karma into Code? It's not a bad idea in theory. If it works, Boruto can resurrect and be saved, and you'll get rid of Code. 2 birds with 1 stone. However, though imperfect, Code already has a karma, so it's highly questionable whether you'd even be able to implant his body with another karma. Plus, even if you succeed, Boruto cannot resurrect until extraction is completed, and Code's body is fully Otsutsukified. As in, Code has to become a vessel." So that kind of gets at part of my initial sort of lack of confidence in Kawaki's plan. That, as I recall, Kawaki did not seem to be aware that Code had any karma at all. Right? It's been a while since I read that chapter. And so here's Amado being like, "Your plan, it was not going to work. It's too late. Code has a karma, and it's very unlikely you get a second karma onto him, even if his karma is like a shit karma." Anyway, Amado continues, "But he won't wait around for that to happen. Of course he'll strike first, and try to kill all of you, starting with Lord Hokage to avenge Ishiki's death." And Kawaki just kind of sits with that, realizing that, maybe his plan wasn't as great as he thought. "You want to protect Lord Hokage, right? Then that plan's no good. You just need more power to deal with Code. Enough to take him down." And Kawaki relents, brings his arm down, freeing Amado, and he turns to Amado again. "Do you think Lord 7th can win against Code? Excuse me. Like with Delta? I'm not sure. It's unclear how much less power he has without Ninetails' chakra, but I suspect he'd die one-on-one versus Code. It certainly won't go the way it did with Delta. You know that, deep down." So yeah, that's kind of, I sort of got at when Kurama died. One of the more meta-narrative things Kurama's death did is it served as the same narrative function as killing the mentor, right? The powerful person who can protect the hero in most stories has to die so the hero can stand on his own. Think Ben Kenobi in episode 4 of Star Wars, or even Jiraiya in Naruto. And it does that without killing Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke, by losing the Rinnegan, no longer have the strength that they did in their heyday, but they're still here. It's a bit of a eating your cake and having it too. Having your cake and eating it too, one of the two. It's whatever, you know what I mean. And Amado is calling that out here. And Kawaki sort of looks at him. "You want power, don't you, Kawaki? Haven't you been thinking that ever since you lost the karma?" Okay, we're getting at the sort of tease of last month's chapter. As Kawaki stares him down, Sumire has got to be getting very suspicious after everything she's thought about Amado all this time. And Kawaki just stops him. "Get to the point, old man." And Amado sort of like waits for a beat and then continues. So take it for yourself. Especially since Ishiki's gone for good. Brand new power. In the form of a karma that's purely a weapon. So that might be leading into our flash forward. If he can somehow replicate Ishiki's karma with Ishiki's soul destroyed, maybe that would work. Though I imagine it'll get corrupted in some way, which could lead to our intro, our flash forward. And Kawaki just looks at him. I'm not sure what this sound effect here means. It might be like a thump of a heartbeat or something. I don't know. And Sumire thinks, a karma that's purely a weapon? And Amado continues, you have the base criteria, and I can make it happen. And Kawaki, after a second, just snaps at him. Are you suggesting I let you implant me with karma again? Are you out of your mind? Yeah, are you out of your mind, Amado? I'm not a fan. I'm not sure how much I like this. That's exactly it. Come on. You know you subconsciously want it. Ooh, okay, I got bad vibes about this. And I doubt Amado is acting purely altruistically here. I imagine, especially with Sumire just kind of being here for this scene, this is sort of the bit where like Kishimoto is picking up all of those sort of hints that Sumire's suspicion of Amado was sort of setting up. And Kawaki snaps, and you of all people know how much I absolutely loathe karma. I do indeed, but I also know that you're rational, and will use any means necessary to achieve your goals. Just like me. And Kawaki just stares him down and walks away. No way. I'm leaving. And as Kawaki turns to leave, Amado stops him. Just remember, it's all up to you, Kawaki. The choice is in your hands. And Kawaki pauses for a sec. Sumire looks at him, concerned. Excuse me. And then he doesn't turn back, he just kind of slinks off. As Sumire kind of lets out Kawaki, and Amado just continues to smoke in silence as we cut to the Boro cult. And Eida and Code. As Eida's sort of leaning up on the bar, poor Kawaki, he truly cares for the Hokage. And Code just looks at her. Seems he's in distress over his own helplessness at being unable to protect the Hokage from you. Oh right, she's watching. She has the clairvoyance thing. It's too painful for me to watch. Code, won't you consider letting the Hokage off the hook? And Code responds, sorry, but no. Otsutsuki Ishiki is my god, in whom I still have faith. And no matter the reason, the Hokage and the others killed that god. It's absolutely unforgivable. They must all be punished without exception. Hold on. And she kind of like turns on Code there. You promised not to kill Kawaki. I know. I'm making a special exception for him, out of respect to you. But that's why I can't budge on the Hokage. He's my #1 target. I'll kill him with my own hands. And Eida just sort of responds, alright, fine. Make sure Kawaki doesn't find out that I'm involved. I don't want him to hate me. Okay, I mean, my thoughts on Eida are still basically unchanged. Her whole gimmick is she wants someone who loves her. She wants a romantic love interest. Is still, I'm not super big on. But whatever, I'm gonna kind of ignore it for now until it really comes up again. We then have Bug in the background, who is just very uncomfortable. Crazy freaks. And he says, just wondering, how long are you sticking around? And Eida turns back to him. Stop sweating the small stuff. Look, I need a refill. You're so gauche. Coming right up. And he thinks, which? How dare you order me about? Which is interesting, because Eida's ability should leave him in love with her, right? Unless there was a reason that Bug was kind of immune. But he still is able to, like, hate her. And so Code sort of just says, I killed 2 guards at the door, and 6 more getting to Bug's room, but there are a lot more soldiers here, aren't there? Might be a bother if they find out you're awake. Oh, so there have just been, like, I thought he, like, cleared out the base before he did all this. He just sort of left the guards be if they didn't get in his way. Alright. And Bug sees this as, like, their opportunity, to, like, get rid of them at last. Right? You should hurry up and get going. I'll take care of matters here for you. But Eida counters, it's no big deal. No one can get their hands on me. What's the rush? That's true. I'm so drawn to you in such a natural way that I still find it hard to believe that it's due to your ability. And Bug is still just, like, very much pushing, like, not even subtly pushing for them to get out of here. Be that as it may, you're not going to get anything done by dawdling here. If you want Kawaki, you need to act. And he thinks, hurry up and get out of here. But Eida stops him. Take it easy. It goes without saying that both the Hokage and Kawaki are being guarded around the clock. Plus, the 5 villages are hunting Code. And Code agrees, right. So what's the plan? We take our time. An opportunity is bound to present itself. My Senrigan clairvoyant eyes will spot it. And Code just sort of looks away. Yeesh. It'd be a breeze if I could just get these limiters rescinded. Oh well. I think I can still win against Hokage and Uchiha if I fight them one-on-one. And Eida sort of chimes in, by the way, don't count on my combat ability. I can only perform simple taijutsu. Okay, not to beat a dead horse, but there's something about this. Something about Eida, the first, not quite the first character Kishimoto has introduced since he came back as head writer. But first female character he's introduced that, can't fight worth a damn, and her whole motivation is romance. Again, it's one of those things that, like, if Eida were, I'm trying to find the right way to put it. If I hadn't read Samurai 8, and if Kishimoto had introduced, since he came back, multiple female characters that had unique goals, then maybe this one character, who's such a kind of a stereotype, wouldn't bug me the way it does. But he hasn't done that, and he did write Samurai 8, and so I'm still just a little uncomfortable here. Maybe I should give Kishimoto a bit more of the benefit of the doubt, but, like, not much more. Anyway, Code responds to that. For real? I thought you'd be an amazing fighter, too. The total opposite. To begin with, I don't like engaging in barbaric acts. I don't like pain, either. And Code, like, blushes. I see. So delicate. Yeah, he's, like, he is head over heels for her. And in a way that's very much, like, not really in line with Code, as Bug kind of calls out. Get a grip, Code. She's making you soft, you fool. Aren't you ashamed? That's why you and I are well aligned. I'll be your eyes and ears, and in return, you'll be my guardian knight. Which comes to our chapter title of Knight. You're a knight. Sure, works for me. But what if you find yourself alone with Kawaki, and he tries to kill you? And Eida kind of, like, pauses. Seriously? What a detestable question. I mean, Kawaki does tend to, like, act violently first, think later at times, especially earlier in the series. So it makes sense that Code at least would think that. But it's not impossible. Kawaki and Boruto are Otsutsuki. You can't beguile them. That's what's appealing to you, yet it could also work against you, and thus me. And Eida kind of looks away for a sec. I suppose. I was hoping to avoid this, but come with me, Code. I'll introduce you to my other knight. Okay. And with that, we sort of leave them alone for a sec to come back to Kawaki, who's dealing with his own sort of Mephistophelian temptation here. As he sort of walks the streets, thinking back to what Amado asked him. You want power, don't you? Haven't you been thinking that ever since you lost the karma? And then we see Shikidai, just sort of walking too, and he notes Kawaki, as Kawaki thinks, so take it for yourself. Brand new power, in the form of a karma that's purely a weapon. Hey, Kawa, and Kawaki then just yells, I said shut up! To his own mind, but no one really notes that. The villagers all around kind of look at him. Shigenai, like, freezes, one hand raised. Oh. And sort of looks around, awkward. As everyone kind of murmurs at him, Shigenai sort of looks at him sadly, and then just walks up to him and sort of pushes him along and says, "Ignore him. Just walk." And Kawaki looks at him. It looks like we're getting a big Shigenai moment, which the manga does not often give us. So good for that. Who and what you are is being kept top secret, so civvies shouldn't know anything, but ever since Ishiki attacked, a lot of rumors have been flying around, both true and false. Is civvy a term we've ever heard before in the Naruto verse? I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but something kind of interesting. And Kawaki sort of looks away, doesn't really want to answer, and Shikedai continues, "But don't you mind them. Konoha's your home, no matter what anyone says. I mean, Lord Seventh himself has deemed it so." And Kawaki looks away, "Sorry, to make you put up with me." And Shikedai turns on him, quit it with a glum face. I bet they're all just scared. Excuse me. "You keep holding your head high." And Kawaki, like, pauses for a minute before responding, "Yeah, thanks." And then we come to Amado and Sumire, which might be sort of a moment of boiling over the suspicion Sumire has been holding against Amado for several chapters now. As she asks him, "What was that all about earlier?" And Amado doesn't even look at her. "About Kawaki's karma. Whatever did you mean?" And Amado, still facing his desk, "It's just as I laid out, Kake. Weren't you listening? What I don't get is your intent." And Amado sort of goes right for the jugular there. "Did you wish to be my assistant in order to spy on me? I suppose Shikamaru put you up to it." I don't think he's quite wrong, in the first part. You know, I imagine, we don't really get to see, last we saw Sumire, she was Katasuke's assistant. And I think the last time we saw Sumire, she was with Katasuke and Amado, I think. But apparently she's officially Amado's assistant right now. And I imagine she did wish to be his assistant in order to spy on him. But I feel like Amado is ever so slightly underestimating Sumire here. It was not because of Shikamaru, it's because she distrusts him. Anyway, Sumire just sort of lashes out, "But please don't change the subject." And Amado thinks for a second, "You're doing it too, but fine." And he kind of turns to her, like, seriously now. "As you know, Kawaki's karma was deleted. However, as I mentioned earlier, the Otsutsuki data that was downloaded into his body still remains. In short, nothing's truly changed." And Sumire kind of freezes as he continues, "Here, let's liken Kawaki as a vessel to a house. The karma would be the house's door. Ishiki's soul was the homeowner, but with the door gone, he can no longer enter the house." Okay, I'm kind of curious. There's a sense of autonomy being sort of erased here. Like, Ishiki was the homeowner, but, like, it feels like, maybe it's just calling Kawaki a house feels sort of dehumanizing a little bit? I don't know. Let's continue. Meanwhile, Ishiki's lifespan runs out and his soul is extinguished. Do you see it now? Even though it has no door, the house itself still exists. And Amado kind of Sumire kind of pieces together where he's going as Amado continues, "And inside that house, Ishiki's power continues to sleep. I'm not able to set such a thing up from scratch, but reopening the door, that much I can do. That's all." And Sumire kind of asks, "You mean you can reconstruct Kawaki's karma?" And Amado blows him smoke. "That's an apt way to put it." "Oh, wow." Okay. So, the way Amado was framing this is like there are no downsides. That Kawaki could just get that power back. The karma is not just this door to a house for Ishiki's soul. You know, as we know, it's also a source of power. And Amado is saying here he can rebuild the power without with Ishiki's soul gone, there's no way for Ishiki to take over Kawaki. And maybe I'd be a lot more confident in what Amado is saying here if it weren't for that flash forward, which definitely makes me think there's some other game being played here. The flash forward does make it seem like Kawaki will end up going through with it, but perhaps somehow some part of Ishiki ends up corrupting him in some way, leading to that flash forward. Again, my thoughts on Kawaki going bad are still pretty negative, like conceptually, but I'm still waiting to see how Kishimoto does it. Anyway, Amado continues, just like with Kawaki, Ishiki implanted Code's karma, but Code failed to become a vessel, so it merely lends him strength. It's a powerful weapon, a great asset to a warrior. Oh, so it's the same thing as with Code. Okay. Alright. And since Ishiki is no more, there's no downside to Kawaki having a karma again. So we ought to pursue it, especially considering the impending threat. And Sumire, I love that look in Sumire's eyes when Amado turns back around of like pure distrust as she questions, is that really all of it? And Amado pauses. There are no other reasons you want to restore Kawaki's karma? And Amado looks back at her. You've got this like woo of like ominousness sound effect going as he just stares at her. And then we come back to Code and the gang at the other capsule in Eida's containment room. As Code sort of looks at it. Another cyborg that Boro stashed here? What sort? And Eida responds, well, the only one, other than an Otsutsuki, who is capable of killing me. And Code looks at her, huh? Bug. And Bug's at the control panel, and he's kind of nervous. Are you sure? Not him. Anything but him. Do it. Now. And Bug sort of looks back at her. Damn it. And he opens it. This, like, smoke exits from the capsule. And the door opens. Code looks at it. And there's nothing there but, like, an air vent. Code looks in. It's empty. And Eida is, like, kind of pissed off. He's done it again. And Bug looks around nervously. Hey! And there's, like, a little kid jumps onto Code's back. Who are you? You Sis's new man? Alright. Wenty. And Code sort of readies his, like, attacking claw. Don't, Code. I wouldn't attack him. And we get Code kind of reverts his hand, except for a single, like, thumb that's still in its claw. And we get a better look at the boy. He's sort of got this, like, mini bowl cut. It's not full, like, Belize. But it's definitely in that sort of wheelhouse. He's maybe 8 to 10 years old. As he calls, hey, sis, this one's a nice ride. And Code, like, eyes widen at how, like, there's a sort of innocence to Code's look. When he's called a nice ride and looks back at the kid. Hop off, Damon. I guess that's or Damon or Daemon. I'm not sure how I pronounce that. No jumping on strangers, remember? I'm gonna keep going with Damon. You better be serious about your feelings for her. I'll slaughter you if you make her cry. And Eida stops him. He's just a friend. Come on, he's clearly not my type. What? Aw, really? And Code is sort of like downcast at Eida's rejection there. No way. And then some guards show up. Hey, there he is! This way! And Eida, Code, and Damon all look at the guards as Bug thinks, fools, don't come here! And the guards enter. Hey, Bug, what are you doing here? Them the ones who killed the guards? Another one notes, yo, those are Lord Boro's cyborgs! And Bug calls, get out of here, all of you! You're gonna get killed! What? Is Bug a hostage or something? And Code is just kind of almost like tired. Yeesh, we've been found out. Oh well, here goes. And Eida stops him. No need to step in, Code. This is perfect. Watch closely. And Damon sort of looks at them. So there's something going on with his eyes I can't quite make out. I imagine he has some new ocular jutsu. The bastard in the black cape's an intruder. Where are the cyborgs? Our orders are to dispose of him if they emerge without cause. Dispose of him if they emerge without cause. So let's just get rid of him too. And he readies his, like, machine gun arm. And as he goes to shoot, I think his head just explodes. Probably from whatever Damon can do. Code and Bug are both kind of shocked as his body falls to the ground as one of them says, "What the?" And Damon just grins. As another guard readies his axe. "Bastard!" And somehow... Oh, I think he can, like, reverse attacks. Because the first one, his head maybe got shot with that machine gun. This new one gets his own axe in his brain, killing him. Wah! Teehee. Stupid. The other guards, what the heck? And one of them runs away as Damon, like, jumps off Code's back, like, warps in front of the fleeing guard, and just kicks his face in. He hits the ground. The last standing guard grabs his sword. "Ugh, you bruh." And his head just falls off. Probably chopped off by that sword. Is he reflecting his opponent's attacks? And Eida that's Code's line. Eida corrects him. "The stronger the intent to kill, the more powerful the reaction. A foe simply picturing the killing scene will cause the end result to be instantly reflected upon him or her. So you be careful too, Code." And Code is almost annoyed. What a formidable kid. And Damon here is just, like, cheery as can be. He seems a much more enjoyable character than Eida does so far. Wee! Allow me to introduce my one other knight, an actual little brother, Damon. And Damon sort of, like, throws a thumbs up at her as we come back to Sumire and Amado for the last scene of the chapter, I think. As Sumire kind of presses Amado, "I first felt that something was off when they all returned from fighting Ishiki. You immediately checked on Kawaki's well-being, and you appeared profoundly relieved that he was okay. Yet you seemed more motivated by something other than mere concern over his welfare." And Amado sort of takes a cigarette, or takes another hit. As Sumire continues, "The truth is that I wish to be your assistant of my own will. I'm very worried about Kawaki and Boruto. Plus..." And Amado stops her. "You're really smart or really stupid. Which is it?" And Sumire kind of freezes. "If you'd stayed silent, you might have drawn out more intel. Don't you understand strategy?" And we cut to Kawaki just sitting up on Naruto's Hokage rock, much like where he found Boruto 3 or 4 chapters ago, moping, as Amado presses, "So, you are plotting something?" And Amado looks up at her, "So you're just stupid." Next chapter hits July 20th. Okay, there's a lot going on here. The chapter is very, very easily broken up into 2 halves. The Leaf Village and with the Boro cult. Let's talk about the Boro cult part first, just because my general dislike for Eida makes me like it less. And we first get a little bit more of almost like a reiteration of Code and Eida's dynamic, which, given that they're still very early in Eida as a character, it works. It doesn't quite feel like, I criticized in my last Eden Zero video the Shora Witch scene that didn't really seem to do anything but reiterate personality traits of Shora and Witch we'd seen a bunch of times in the past. But here, Eida is still a new enough character that it's doesn't quite feel excessive, sort of reiterating who she is as a person. I don't really think we learn anything new here, beyond the fact that she can't fight. Which, okay, we'll see where Kishimoto goes with that. The real important thing in that part comes with Damon's introduction. And Damon has a really interesting power that I find much more unique than just people fall in love with me like Eida's got. He's also just kind of fun, the way he just like jumps on Code. "Hey sis, this one's a nice ride." I mean, that's almost definitely our thumbnail. It's just really funny. Like Code, the way Code like loses his sort of edgy, mean badass persona in just pure bewilderment at Damon. Like how his eyes kind of widen, even just looking in that one page. He kind of like leers at Damon when he like retracts his claws, and then that sort of like face he makes in the next panel of just like, what? What the fuck is going on right now? There's a youthfulness to him that we normally don't see. It's really interesting. Damon also just has a really fun power. You know, the reflecting the image of the killing blow is incredibly, like, it might lean into overpowered territory. But it's also just interesting. Like, it's unique. I don't quite know how we. I mean, I guess the first way to beat him would be to like not be interested in killing him, because then he'll just kill you right back. But yeah, I'm really excited to see more of Damon, much more than I am of Eida. But anyway, I like the Leaf Village part a lot more, even if Kawaki potentially going dark somehow is one of my like big fears. But we do start to see the seeds of Kawaki's eventual rekarmaing and his eventual corruption. It's one of once again, I kind of wish we hadn't had that flash forward, just so there'd be a lot more like mystery and uncertainty as to what's going to happen next. Instead of now, where if the flash forward is going to happen as is, we know Kawaki is going to accept the karma, which kind of deflates a lot of the tension of will he do it. We know the answer is yes. The only question is, how does he kind of get corrupted afterwards? But anyway, we get a nice little moment with Kawaki and Shikadai, as Shikadai sort of tries to comfort him, as people are, you know, there are rumors flying around about him and Ishiki and all that. And Shikadai is like, yeah, we're here for you. We are your friends. Or this is your home. Even if we don't know each other that well, this is still your home. And that's, you know, we're your allies now. I do hope that the anime's given them a little bit of interaction, like with the ninja cards. But I do hope we get some more scenes with them. That's one thing I really want to see going forward. In the anime, before I get to this point, sort of give Kawaki more interactions with the more minor Leaf Genin, or Chunin in Shikadai's case. I think that could be just pretty interesting. Add some more weight to this scene when we get there. But it's nice for now. Yeah, it's good. It's one of those things like Shikadai only really works as a character because of the anime. The manga has done next to nothing with him. But still, it gets the job done. The real drama, though, comes in with Sumire and Amado. As Sumire kind of presses, you know, what exactly Amado's goals are here. Amado provides a good justification that of like why Amado would or why Kawaki would benefit from this. But it's also possible she might have overplayed her hand. As Amado points out at the end, you know, she presses, so you are plotting something, so you're just stupid. And we'll see if that's true or not. If Sumire has some kind of backup plan if Amado turns on her, which might happen next time. But for now, yeah, this is a pretty fun chapter. I found, again, I'm not a big Eida fan just already, and Damon is sort of a hoot, so that gives me a lot more hope for Code's version of Kara. And then it looks like the months we spent sort of simmering with Sumire's suspicion of Amado are right about to blow up in Sumire's face. It's possible Sumire could die. Maybe. You know, it depends on what Amado is plotting. But if Amado is, like, fully malicious, he's gonna kill Sumire here. Maybe. If it's still, like, in the end beneficial for the world, he'll probably let Sumire live after he, like, convinces her to join his side. But if it is just evil, I'm not sure if Sumire is gonna make it out of this one alive. The Sumire has done very little, like, action in the manga. It would be nice to see Nue in the manga. Just once, even. So yeah, all in all, this chapter is fun. It's not perfect, it's not wonderful, it's not as good as any given chapter in the Kawaki arc. Because the Kawaki arc was just fucking top tier. And this arc has not quite reached those heights yet. But still, lots to like here. I'm a big fan of Damon. I want to see where Sumire and Amado goes. But yeah, all in all, a fun chapter, a lot to look forward to going forward. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!